We call it a mission trip. But what exactly does that mean? Searching up the definition of a mission trip, you'll learn that it's a journey, often organized by a religious or nonprofit organization, where individuals or groups travel to different locations to provide charitable work, community service, or religious outreach. First-time students might expect to do some hard work, meet some new people, see a new place, and maybe even get a bit of sightseeing in while they're there. And largely, that is what we do. We come together with 50 or more people from other parts of the country, from different denominations and cultures. We are assigned to serve alongside each other at community partners across the cities we visit. We slum it, sleeping on air mattresses that mostly hold air, waiting in line for our meals, the restroom, and taking turns prepping meals and washing dishes. In the evenings, we spend time worshiping, listening to stories from each other, and engaging in some discussion about the impact being made. That definition isn't incorrect, but it's also not comprehensive. What else happens? The service is good, it's important. Our community partners love sharing stories and explaining how they became a pillar in their city, working to bridge the gap to resources, solutions, and even something as simple as a smile. Some describe it as a summer surge of productivity for them. But these trips are so much more than the service. We learn a lot about ourselves, our relationship with God, and about these group members we have traveled so far to serve with. Our interactions can act like a mirror, showing us the thing we may not have known about ourselves, the good and the bad. It might show the strength we didn't know we had, the courage we dug deep to show, the empathy for our neighbors. On the flip side, it might show the pride we know we struggle with, the distractions we let eat up our day, the negative thoughts we tell ourselves, the love we struggle to accept, or the ways we've pushed God away. In the midst of all this, we build unlikely relationships with people we don't know very well, or even just met. Relationships with our church group, the youth work staff, students from other churches, service partners, and even community members. We talk and laugh and work hard. During our nightly church group discussion time, people start taking chances with becoming vulnerable, sharing thoughts, doubts, and struggles. Encouragement abounds. By the end of the service week, this organically grown micro-community feels like home, and the group feels like an extension of your family. And it is no coincidence that each person was placed there at just the right time to grow and to help others grow. The culmination of the week is experiencing God's love for us through foot washing. Youth work staff wash the feet of the church group leaders and pray for them. Then we get to go and do likewise for our students, speaking God's love, truth, and promises over them in the process. God created us to be in community just like this, to share in the good and the bad, to do life together with God alongside. We weren't made to hide behind our fear, locked in our houses, glued to our screens, trying to go it alone. You see, following Jesus closer isn't just about following Him, but about our relationships with each other. Often, that is where we experience Him most.
Hello, my name is Dylan, and this was my fourth mission trip. So before this trip, I had and was struggling with change to fit others' standards. So I would keep parts of my personality quiet or add pieces that didn't quite fit or agree with who I was. I had a really hard time not trying to appeal to certain people. Along with this, I preferred to be in the background and not deal with the liability of leadership. So we get into my prayer. My prayer and goal for this trip was to be a leader and to become uncomfortable, to use my gifts in the way they were intended. Going into the trip, I felt very confident and prepared. Little did I know, I wasn't in any way. The first 2 days of the trip went well with physical leadership. I had been sent to a kids camp and tasked with managing and occupying them. This answered both parts of my prayer. I'm not good with kids, and I have to figure out how to incorporate myself and lead them. For my second day, I was at the same place, and I felt I knew what needed to happen and was ready to serve. After both of these 2 days, I had felt accomplished in that I was addressing my prayer and working with it. What I didn't see was the spiritual leadership I wasn't bringing. I was so wrapped up in myself and my success that I didn't see the other half of the prayer I had prayed. I needed to be a leader in faith and not only in service. For the last 2 nights, I had not been contributing to group time or worship. I would like to say I had some big miraculous change, and I found out this great thing about myself on the trip, and it helped me to be better on the rest of the trip. But I didn't. I did my best. I completed the trip, not fully sure what was to come after. I wasn't hit by the metaphorical bus of God until on the plane on my way home. I was typing my blog, and while I was writing, I realized no one can be a good leader if they lead. If we're being true leaders, we're actually followers. We have to let go. Follow Jesus to properly lead. I might have been a leader of the flesh, but not of God. I didn't step back and ask what God might be telling me or commanding me to do. Part of serving others is understanding what they need. When we spend time in prayer, asking God what's best, we might be surprised by his answer. Sometimes what we think is best in leadership isn't correct. Prayer keeps us grounded and humble. It reminds me that we need to rely on him, and our gifts on their own can only take us so far. We need him to teach us how to use our gifts to the fullest extent, and how to truly love other people.
Good morning. My name is Ricky Shaw, and this was my first mission trip with Good Shepherd. Today, I'd like to share with you one of my core memories from this trip, which was the gatherings that we had at night, and specifically the worship. After we served, showered, and had a little outing every day, all the churches gathered in a large room for worship and to talk about our theme. If I could describe the feeling in the room during worship in one word, that word would be empowering. The second or third night, Riley and I started a chain of people from our church swaying with the music, arms wrapped around each other. That chain grew till almost everyone in it was till everyone was wrapped around the entire room. There's a common saying that most of you have likely heard of. There's strength in numbers. I feel that all the churches embodied this as we came together, praising God, unified before him. It was also really cool to see all these young people step out of their comfort zones and let go of their pride. Normally, you won't see teenagers be very public about their faith, especially with people that they just met, but seeing a whole room of young people do just that was very powerful. As a final message to the youth, I hope that we all feel that letting go of our sense of pride and embracing worship can follow us everywhere we go, not just in church. If we could embrace this idea all the time, it would change our mindset about the world. We would be able to see God and what he's doing, even in the mundane parts of life. It would help us to remember that even though we are just one person, we're part of a whole, the whole church. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Riley Thorpe, and this mission trip to Nashville, Tennessee was my 4th mission trip. One area on this mission trip where I felt closer to God was during foot washing. Foot washing happens on every Thursday night. This is when the youth leaders wash everyone's feet and pray for you. However, one prayer stuck out with me. Don't change yourself to make others happy, but to be confident in who you are and the gifts that you have. This stuck out with me because being confident is a struggle that I have dealt with for my whole life, but especially in high school because it is a place where people always judge you and it is hard to be your true self. This lack of confidence has affected my relationships because it keeps me from being able to be my true self in front of new people or people who I have just met. It also impacts my relationship with God because people would judge me for following Him, and I'd feel like they would change their thoughts about me. A lot of people in high school judge you by your looks and what you are wearing. I have noticed that being more confident will dismiss other people's judgmental comments. I've learned that if you have faith in God and know that He's with you, it will be easier to grow and be more bold. Hearing these words come from my youth leaders really made me want to be more confident in myself and in my daily life. Hearing this also makes me want to grow closer to God and ask for guidance during times when I am feeling insecure. Being confident helps me serve better because it allows me to focus on the task at hand and make confident decisions rather than overthinking things and being distracted by how people might view me. I hope that I can carry these prayers with me into this coming school year and remember that He's with me when I face new challenges.